I'm Sean Scott. I'm a shoe designer turned entrepreneur, and I'm here to talk to you today about failure. And I'm going to start with a story. It goes back to March of 2005. I'm vice president at a big shoe company. I have a meeting with my boss, the president, and he comes into the room and he says, "Nothing." Heavy sigh. I say, "Wow, that can't be good. Hey, what's going on?" "Nothing." Heavy sigh. Finally, he sits down and he says, "Sean, we're letting you go." Fast forward 20 minutes. I'm in the car on the way home. I have to call my wife and tell her the news. "Hi, honey. Guess what? I just got fired." Again. I've been fired a few times in my career, maybe more than a few times, and it is not the career path I chose for myself. I expected to graduate from high school, probably go to college, definitely get a cool job, work really hard, and eventually be the boss of the coolest company ever. It didn't really work out that way. And while I don't really condone getting fired as a best path career-wise, I do want to let you know that getting fired is okay. Failing is okay. It can tell you a lot about yourself. I learned a lot about myself, plus it can set you on a path to a better level of success. Failure brings experience. As a result of my proclivity for getting the boot, getting the axe, I found myself getting to know up close and personal some great companies, from fragile startups like my own to well-established multi-billion-dollar companies like Nike or Asics or Vans. And as a result of this, I developed a wide variety of skills. I became kind of a jack of all trades of the footwear industry. This is something that would serve me very well later on. Failure had brought me experience. Failure brings resilience. In the late 90s, I found myself without a job. I had been fired. This was particularly bitter for me. I had lost respect for my superiors at this job. I actually thought they may have conspired to get me fired. And man, it hurt. You know, I felt like I had let people down. I'd let myself down, let my family down. I was insecure. Several weeks went by, and I got some news. There had, in fact, been corruption among this group. I was simply collateral damage of their scheme. So that insecurity actually turned to anger, and that anger brought me pretty quickly to empowerment. I literally thought to myself, man, if these jokers can run a global company, I can certainly manage my own little startup, which is what I did. I recruited my best friend, smartest guy I know, to help me launch a skate shoe brand called Two Fish. These are some of our ads from way back in the day. Two Fish was great. We made amazing product. We were very proud of our brand image of integrity and humility, even when the skate shoe industry was all hype, 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 bigger, better, faster, farther. We were clearly zigging when the whole industry was zagging, and we loved it. We were irreverent, we were working hard, and we were having fun. It was great. But this is a story about failure, so you can probably guess Two Fish didn't work out in the long run. But failure brings resourcefulness and growth. I looked around at that point and I thought, wow, this may be a good time for me to be an independent contractor. I had seen that independent designers, outside designers, were actually in vogue in the footwear industry. Brands like to bring in outside hipness to tell people how cool they were in their new designs. Okay, I had had some success as a designer. I thought I could do this. But there was a problem. I can't really draw. I can create a design, I can make a sketch of that design, but I don't really have the hand rendering skills to turn that design into something beautiful that I can sell. So, how am I going to compete with accomplished designers? These gals and guys have been to prestigious design schools. They can make a shoe look like a Rembrandt. How am I going to compete with that? Well, computer-aided design was new to the footwear industry. And I had seen buyers' eyes light up when they saw something presented on a computer rather than on paper. Even if at the expense of the design, they were wowed by the presentation. I thought, hey, this could be my competitive edge. So I applied myself. Adobe Illustrator, if any of you guys are familiar with it, it's a great drawing software. It had just come out. I learned that, and I was able to create some designs that looked cool on the computer, and I went out and went on my way. Now, I complemented my new skills with a very cool new laptop that I could bring to the presentation, and I got a black mock turtleneck sweater, so the package was complete. And I hit the road, and it worked. It wasn't my path to fame and fortune, but I got some great customers, and I was off and running again. Failure had taught me how to be resourceful, and it brought me personal growth. Failure brings confidence. It sounds counterintuitive. If I fail, why does that make me confident? Well, it really can if you let it. If we go back to that first story where I had got fired, I called my wife. That was not good timing. There was cause for concern. We had just bought our first house. We had 2 cars. We had 2 kids in school. If I couldn't find work, the house was really at risk. We were at risk of having to sell those cars and relocate. I mean, okay, this isn't calamitous in the world scheme of things, but it's cause for stress. But there was no panic. By now, I had some experience. I was prepared. And I want to deviate for a second and actually clarify that we were prepared. My wife and my friends were incredibly supportive through all my ups and downs. And I just want to take this moment to remind you guys to surround yourselves with people who believe in you. When you're down, they're going to give you the fuel that you need to keep going. Even if you've run out of gas, they're going to be your engine. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Okay, so I actually had the wherewithal to understand that this job I was at was kind of an experiment. It was a new facet of the footwear industry that I hadn't tried before. It turns out that it wasn't the best area for me, and in fact, I wasn't the best guy for that area. But I knew there would be another path. I was confident that I would find next steps, and I really believed that those next steps would take me someplace better. Failure had brought me confidence. Failure leads to success. I guess this is the best one, right? Several months later, I'm an independent contractor. I have a few customers. It isn't maybe life-defining work, but it's great. I'm good. I have a customer in New York. I'm in the lobby of a hotel in New York. Wi-Fi is free in the lobby, not in the room. I can't figure it out. So I'm getting some work done. I get a phone call from our good friend Karina. She says, hey, I just met this great guy. He's trying to start this company. He needs somebody to help him make shoes. You're going to love him. And I was like, man, the last thing I need is to have to babysit an entrepreneur who's not going to pay me. Plus, I'm busy. So Karina, I really appreciate you looking out for me, but no thanks, but no thanks. Actually, I'm in New York right now. I'm going to be meeting a customer in about an hour and a half. Oh my God, he's in New York, and he's right nearby. You got to go see him. Okay, fine. So I didn't go back upstairs. I remember this very clearly. I closed up my laptop, put on my backpack, walked down the street, and I went to meet this guy, Blake. I wanted to hear him out, and out of respect for him and Karina, let him know politely, thanks, but no thanks. 45 minutes later, I walked out. Hey, honey, guess what? I just took a new job. No, it doesn't pay anything, but it's great. We're going to make shoes, and for every pair we make, we're going to give a pair to people who need shoes. What's it called? Shoes for tomorrow, tomorrow shoes, something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it's going to be great. Well, that, of course, was Tom's, and it was amazing. There were 5 of us in an apartment in Venice, and it grew to this $500 million global brand, and it was kind of a phenomenon. We gave shoes to millions of people who didn't have access to shoes. And this is us on the first shoe drop, me and my wife, Shannon. And we were a catalyst for this global movement of conscious capitalism. And we were a big part of that. And it was great, a great success. But there's more. 8 years later, it's still a great success. I'm in the job of a lifetime. I'm happy. I have friends for life at this company, but I couldn't help thinking I wanted to do a little bit more. Some of it had to do with maybe a lack of comfort with some of the flaws in the overseas production model. Some of it had to do with having to be away from the family a lot with international travel. And a lot of it had to do with seeing people in need right here in Los Angeles. And an idea was hatched: make products locally and give locally. Love the idea, great idea. I thought it could work. But was I really ready to leave a success like Tom's? I was never going to match that success. Was I really prepared to chase a dream at the expense of this safe job of a lifetime? Well, I think you guys know the answer is yes. But it is because of the experiences that I had. I knew I had the resourcefulness. I knew I could be resilient. I wasn't afraid of failure. I respect the possibility of failure, but a lot less time thinking about what could go wrong and a lot of time thinking about, man, what could I do with this? What's the dream? So that dream is community. And with, you can see designer extraordinaire Ryan there, my wife Shannon in the middle, and me. We're making shoes right here in Los Angeles. And we have this great place, you can see, in the Arts District where we bring people together to build community. And for every pair of shoes that we sell, we give $10 to our amazing giving partners, Street Poets, Youth Mentoring Connection, and the People Concerned, who are doing amazing things right here in LA. This is success to me. It's small, but it's my dream. It's small, but it is my biggest success. Failure had given me success upon success. And this kind of sums up everything right here. You try, you fail, you try again, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. I could have shown you this one slide and called it a day, but it's a talk. And I guarantee you that success will be bigger than the pitfalls along the way. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. Y'all are awesome.